want to
Yes,
go
you can.
into all that because I'm an orchid and arum lily person, and these
You
are
know what?
I like orchids, arum lilies, white tulips. So I like them for a certain reason because of what they symbolize.
Yeah,
So yes, that's also something that you can talk about.
yeah,
They beautify, they smell great, they
yeah.
have symbols for
They
so many
signify
people.
love.
Yes.
It,
Um,
they signify. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, generally you can say that flower signifies love, because yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean you can go down, also channel it down. That's all. So some of them are very medicinal.
Yes, some of them are
Yeah,
very medicinal.
medicinal. Because yeah, there are some flowers. There are some flowers. The smell alone, doesn't. Do I use the word expel snake?
Yes, yes, I've
Yes.
heard of those.
Yeah, there are then flowers too. Is herbal. Example. The hibiscus flower, right? That has properties that steps down. You know, the
Okay.
blood pressure. Yeah. So that's also one of the reasons why I love flower because it generally just signifies love, peace. And yeah.
Okay, Tosin has spotted something that I wanted to talk about.
Uji.
No, she said it out loud.
Well,
The filler. The filler words you're using,
oh yeah. No, like I said, because I am speaking to you, I'm learning.
Yes, okay, okay.
I am learning. So when I am learning, I like to be very practical. I like to be vulnerable. Just say anything I need to say. Do you understand me? I know how to put myself together and put all my words in, one sentence, and channel it down to what I want. Right?
Okay.
Yes. And don't forget, this is speaking class. Right?
Yes.
I'm talking to her now. This is
Mm-hmm.
speaking class. I'm not trying to counsel you. I'm just trying to be natural.
Okay.
Right? Because they expect you, even the Oyibos, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have something, like they have like, do I say a word, that they used to like,
Just to think,
that
to hold
exactly,
space.
exactly, yes. They can say, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, does that make so all those kind of things, they have their own too, right? But the main thing is that this is a conversation I am having. But the main thing is my conversation making sense? How often do I use that? I can limit it to like 0, right? Maybe just use it once, right? Yeah. So because I am trying to speak to someone, I know what I am talking about. I have to be confident of, even if I'm answering rubbish, I have to be confident of what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, confidence also is something that kills a development for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So apart from that, your response was good for the flowers. That's the first question. Do you like to have flowers in your home? Where would you go to buy flowers? And
Where do I go to buy flowers?
yes, well, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see
Okay,
your
let me
screen.
see if I can send this to you. This is okay, so where would you go to buy flowers and why? Then the next one is on what occasion would you give someone flowers? Followed by are flowers important in your culture? Why or why not?
Oh well, that part of is flower important to my culture. I would say not really, not really, not really. I mean, to be very honest, I'll channel it down that I'm an African man, right? Nigerian precisely, and unlike the Western world, Europe, and other parts of Western countries, where flower signifies a whole lot of things like love, like you showing someone love, or like you can take, flower to someone's funeral, right? Or maybe,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
Right? Yes. Yes, in my place it is not. No, in my place it is not. It is not. It is not something anybody, like girls don't really value. They prefer, other things to flower. I can
Okay.
use the flower to say sorry here to my girlfriend if I offend her, to my wife if I do something silly, or if I feel, oh, it's a way of me showing love, or maybe she does something, or maybe she's celebrating, it's her birthday, anything, I can use flower, as a form of gift. Some of them are not really expensive, but there where I come from, a girl will prefer you to buy her perfumes. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody. The girl will prefer you to buy her perfumes, handbags, hairs, wigs, yeah, right? So they would rather prefer it. Like I will even go down to my own girlfriend, I will tell them that yes, on like days like her birthdays, she gives me list of things she really likes, so I will remember, right? And sometimes, not like she's giving me lift to like buy everything on the list for her. Shows what you'll be able to buy for her from there. These are things that she would like, just so you won't forget, So yeah, she gives me list, and all for how many years that I've been with her, she's giving me lists. None of it came with flower.
Okay.
Right. So I had an ex that was just very similar to her. Right? So nobody really values flower that way. Sorry, what did you say? So yeah. So what are the other questions? I might not have answered very well, but then
yes, I was going to say that while you're passionate about your answer, you also need to still try and look for ways to use the transition words, like like how you did for the writing. For example, you can say right now, at the moment, in the past, usually, unfortunately, in the same vein, as a follow up to that, just try and look for ways to use them in your conversation so that you can guide the examiner through, like I said before, zero to hero. Just guide them through the story. The passion is great. I'm still gonna look for how we can work through just to reduce the number of knows. It's okay to use filler words. It's very natural.
Yeah.
And it might even be a habit. So I have a friend that when she's talking, she says, "Do you get? Do you get? Do you get?" So the "do you get" is very plenty. And for the Ielts exam, it's still okay to be your natural self, and you can say, but consciously.
Not as much as,
Yes, at some point when it comes to your mind, you can hold it like a hiccup and just process the thoughts and just keep going.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, you went straight to the last one. So I was going to say
that's me.
Okay.
When I'm being questioned, I take the ones that are very easy for me to go with, first. Then I'll come back to the rest.
That's a good strategy, but the examiner is going to guide you through these questions in the order in which they appear on the paper. So you just have to be calculating what you say for the fourth question while they're still asking you questions about where would you go to buy flowers and why.
So like I said, I like to make all my mistakes here. I like to do all my dirty works here.
No problem.
because I'm learning.
Yes.
Right? So I will now practice professionally how to handle it.
Very good.
The exam hall. Yeah. So I know what to put, what not to use, how to, guide myself. That's what I do.
So which other question would you like to respond to next here?
I'm only seeing part one.
Yes.
I'm only seeing part two.
So the question.
Yeah.
No, we're still here. You've answered, do you like to have flowers in your home?
Yeah.
And you've answered, are flowers important in your culture? There are two other questions here. Where would you go to buy flowers? Why? On what occasions would you give someone flowers?
So, where would I go to buy flowers? Please, can you remind me of where they sell flowers? What are they called?
Horticulturists.
Yes, exactly. I
But
mentioned. Yeah,
you
I
can,
mentioned it earlier.
yes, and you can also say a flower shop because many times technical terms don't come really quickly.
Exactly.
So just a flower shop or
but I go to horticulturists. That's if I want to, if I want to also have them, in my compound, right? As much as I want, like different. Yeah, if I have to, plants. You can also use plants then in my compound. Because I remember, our house, I remember we, going to horticulturist and, he came and, planted a lot of flowers in the compound, you understand? So, but to a flower shop, you can just go and you will not be guided on, you just buy some, and plant them and they will just sit there and stop dying. So, but yes, you go to a flower shop, to buy them. Yeah. And, what occasion would you give someone flower? Yeah. Funeral. Do you? Yes. Do you?
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah, do you give someone flowers during funeral?
Yes.
No, I don't. It's when the person has died. Yeah, you don't exactly give them. Like what I'm looking for now is the best way to put it. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, you give someone flowers during wedding, birthdays, just random days, just, coming from work, you can just buy it for your loved ones, surprise, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So can you repeat now that you've got the idea, can you repeat the answer to on what occasions would you give someone flowers?
Okay, on what occasion would I give someone flower?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give someone flower during birthdays. Yeah. I'll give someone flower, during childbirth. I'll give someone flower during wedding. I can take flowers to my loved ones to their graveside. I can give someone flower during their graduation ceremonies.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Yes, I can give flowers, flower signifies love, so I can give my loved ones who get flower on a random days, any day I feel, I'm an emotional person, so I can just buy flowers for you anytime. When I, miss you so much, and maybe getting to see you, I buy you flower, just to tell you how much, I care, love, and is there for you.
Very good. Thank you very much. You've already answered the last one. Are flowers important in your culture? So now this other part, you'll be given 2 minutes you'll be given 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and then you're going to talk about this topic for about 2 minutes. They always say 1 to 2 minutes, but try to stay on 2 minutes. And let's go. Let's look at the question, and then you take time to think. Describe a meeting you remember going to at work, college, or school. You should say when, yes, and where the meeting was held, who was at the meeting, what the people at the meeting talked about.
You're already sounding like the audio.
Anyway. Okay.
I said to God, you were sounding like the audio.
Okay, now I've gone back to earth. So, and explain why you remember going to this meeting. So you take time to think about this, think about the meeting, and then.
That's part 3, right?
Yeah, this is part 2. No, not part 3. Part 2.
Part 2 is described. Okay. describe a meeting you remember going to at work, college, or school.
Mm-hmm.
You should see when and where the meeting was held, who was at the meeting, what the people at the meeting talked about. Okay, they're telling me what to say. Okay. Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, so now you're going to take a minute to think about what you want to say. This is like a moment of, you're not doing your writing work, but it's a moment where you just arrange your thoughts in your mind and think of all the transition words that you would like to insert in your communication, and think about how you want to guide the listener through the story from zero to hero. So,
where are you looking at that meeting? Just trying to think of meeting. What meeting? Just the one meeting. I don't know what meeting that I remember going for. What we discussed, we don't have what. Well, are you there?
I'm still here. I'm just listening.
Oh, well, I remember going, describe a meeting you remember going to work, college, or school. Well, I remember having a meeting with with my workmates, with my managers, two of my managers, the store manager and the duty manager, Yeah, then in the meeting, we discussed a few things, that were, of.
No. None of us is laughing. So, what I just think you should do is, this is not the exam. So, take your time to think about how you're going to put your words together for the meeting.
I'm just thinking of the meeting because my work, I really don't do meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's thing that I do meeting, except I'm going to mix up with that one and just like.
Okay, not like to create content. So imagine. Yeah, so think about maybe when you were in secondary school, was there meeting? When you were in Nigeria, were there estate meetings, compound meetings, church meetings? All the guys, let's wait after church meetings. Did you have any of those?
Okay, yes, I remember one now. Yeah. Okay, my meeting is going to be a bit out of context, from what I was asked to, describe, because here you're talking specifically about work, college, or school. Mm-hmm. But I am going to drift a bit away from it and make it about, compound meeting.
Okay.
Right. Yes. So I was a tenant in Lagos,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometime in 2019 to 2023,
Mm-hmm.
So where I lived, the house was, in a very good location, so a lot of people wanted the house. But, of course, nobody knew anything about the house until, you move in. Yeah. Nobody will tell you until you move in. There were a lot of structural issues, a lot of these issues, like life issues, So it got to a point where, I felt it was just me. So there was a WhatsApp group, where all the tenants, belonged to. I was one of them. So a day, I didn't know one of the things I was complaining about, like water, structural issues, molds, in the house, and all. Today, this pipe, busting. Tomorrow, another thing happening, and all. So, I mean, a good number of tenants, were experiencing the same thing at the same time, coupled with the fact that, every time we always have issues about, water finishes in the well because it was well, no, was it well? No. A borehole, right? yeah, but it was not properly drilled. If you ask me, yeah. So yeah, and so they talked about having a reverse osmosis, and when we had the meeting, we talked about, someone brought about an idea of the reverse osmosis, but of course it was too expensive. So we wanted the agent, to come in. Obviously, I'm just telling you this. I'll like put it together. I'm just trying to tell it.
I'm listening to.
Yeah. So we wanted to pay, but the money was on the high side because we weren't going to get, our money back from the landlord or something, because that was classified as a structural fault, and you living in a house where there is a structural fault, it is on the landlord to handle it. If it's any other thing in the house, right, it is you, the tenant, that is supposed to handle it. Things like painting, broken tiles, those ones are not looked at as structural faults, So we went for the meeting and, so I'm looking at from the question. When and where the meeting was held. So the meeting was held in the compound.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and it was held when? That was in the evening of January 10th, 20. Yeah.
No, he doesn't need to be specific about it, but continue. So I just want him to finish, and then he will then do another one. Yes, a better presentation of it. I think now he's still just trying to collect his thoughts.
Yeah.
So
when and where, the meeting was held in the compound, in the evening. So the evening at about 5:30 p.m. Who was at the meeting? About 10 of the tenants out of 12. What the people at the meeting talked about and explained why you remember going to this meeting. Yeah, we talked about structural fault. We talked about, spoiled boreholes. We talked about electricity challenges, yeah. And explain why you remember going to this meeting. I remember going to this meeting because of this thing I just mentioned. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. That was
a lot.
No, not a lot. That was an experience that a lot of us can relate to, having lived in Nigeria. So I was going to say that, for example, in this situation where you don't have any experience with college meetings, okay, so you will do the introduction like, oh, I've never really had any, we usually don't have meetings at work or in college or in any of my schools, and I don't remember having meetings in any of these environments. However, when I lived in a certain estate in Nigeria, we had frequent meetings, of which I would like to share one of the meetings right now. So that's why
that makes a lot of sense. So another thing I wanted to say was about, I wanted to use Tosin's meeting, just to create it in my head and make it about me.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, about her work meeting, I've been talking about, reaching targets, their normal KPIs in the day, because sometimes they have. You just sent me something.
Don't look. Just keep talking. Don't worry.
Good vocabulary, past tense, accuracy, the ability to speak for 1 to 2 minutes without stopping. To be honest, I haven't attended many formal meetings at work, school. However, the meeting that immediately comes to my mind was a resident meeting. Oh, whoa, you were already putting it into writing. Yeah, that's great.
That's right.
That's sweet. Anyways, yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
it had some guiding questions. Who, when and where the meeting was held? Yes. Who was at the meeting? What the people talked about? Why you remember going to this meeting? Did you say why you remember this meeting specifically?
No.
Okay, so you have to add why you remember going to this meeting. You don't remember anything special, but let's try and add something that could happen in that meeting. But the thing is, while you're there, if you don't use your 1 minute to prepare before you start answering, you have to start thinking in real time. Okay. Why? Okay, I'm listening.
Why did I remember going to the meeting? Is that the question?
Yes, so this is the part where you say something unique or memorable about the meeting.
I know. I know. Well, I remember because I remember this particular meeting because this meeting was like a nightmare for me for a very long time. No, not the meeting. Like going for that meeting.
Yes.
Was like a dream come true for me.
Really?
Right? Because,
okay.
Yeah, because I faced a lot of challenges, with this whole water and, so when we had that meeting, it was like we getting like 80% close to the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, because I faced these challenges for years, alone, trying to contact the agents, but yeah, they seemed very unapproachable, impossible, and always, give always what? And always give excuses. Mm-hmm. Right? But yeah, so we arranging this meeting and me going for this meeting, was a dream come true for me, because after the meeting, things just started working, because we had a leader, that reached out to the landlord directly, not even the agent, because the agent was like a owner's rep for the landlord, right? But then it was just through him we could, reach the landlord. But there was someone that was like a leader, right? He was always too busy with work. But the day we had that meeting, he was there, and I mean everything. We were just 80% close to the solution, and things just